What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Wrestlemania 27. We are inching closer and closer to the fourth and final decade, I should say, of WrestleManias. We are basically through the really good ones, and now we're going to slowly start to get to the not so good WrestleManias. At least this one is not so good. As always, Rob's ratings are on the side there. WrestleMania 27 match card is up at the top. Ratings are going to go from 10 to 0. Rob's is going to be A through F. Mine is going to be 10 and 9 is an A. 8 and 7 is a B. 6 through 4 is a C. 3 and 2 is a D. 1 and 0 is an F. This WrestleMania took place April 3rd, 2011. My senior year in high school, actually. And commentary was a fucking disaster. It was so hard to watch some of these matches because it involved you listening to Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler just bitch and whine and cry and harp, and it was terrible. They have a match on this card, as you can see, and that's a fucking disaster. But because they had a match here, they try to sell that match by making them utterly obnoxious on commentary, and it ruined everything before their match was absolutely ruined, and we will get to that as we go. We're going to start here with Edge, with Christian, who was the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, versus Alberto Del Rio, who was with Brodus Clay. The less you know about that man, the better. He is fucking dog awful, both in the WWE and outside of it. Alberto Del Rio is okay. This was an okay match to open the show. I would say I expected more, but I really didn't. Alberto Del Rio never connected with the crowd, never really connected with me. Edge was literally hours away from retiring. Of course, until coming back in the Royal Rumble back in 2020, I believe is when he comes back, 2020 or 2021. But this is literally his last match before retiring. He would go on to announce his retirement Monday after Mania. So maybe this kind of match makes sense, honestly, given the fact that Del Rio never really connected, so he never really got invested in his moves, and Edge was about to retire because of his neck, so he couldn't really do a lot of the things that he wanted to do. It's not that this match is bad, there is some okay work here, okay match rate, good limb physiology, but the actual moves, the story, the waste of time on the managers, this match is a 5 out of 10. I was honestly disappointed in this match. Rob slightly disagrees. He gives this match a 6 out of 10, so he bumps it up a little bit more than I did. So I'm fine with putting it there, 6 out of 10. It's an okay opener. It makes sense, given everything we know afterwards. Kind of makes sense putting this here on the card anyway. But I feel like you probably... I would say you could have probably put a better match on the card here, but then again, I don't know if you really could, because this card's not the best. Next up, you have Rey Mysterio versus Cody Rhodes, with Cody Rhodes coming out the winner. Oh, by the way, Edge wins the previous match, by the way, so he retires and basically vacates the title Monday night. This is Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, and I was actually shocked by this match. Everyone mocks the early Cody era. At least they do now. But that was mostly Stardust. And even with Stardust, they still chanted Cody's name. But Cody Rhodes looked amazing in this match. He's an absolute fucking twig compared to now. But he looks like he is in a completely different mode in this match. It consisted of great back and forth. Great work. I love Cody still being able to power Rey while Rey was back to flipping and hitting high-risk moves. Cody being sneaky athletic here himself. I loved using their protective gear because obviously Cody Rhodes came in with the face guard. Rey Mysterio came in with the knee guard. I love the use of those as weapons behind the referee's back. The finish was fantastic. I gave this match a 7 out of 10. I thought this match was great. Not phenomenal, not an all-time classic, not a match to go back and look at, but a very exciting match. I honestly probably would have flipped these two on the card, but I enjoy this match. Gave it a 7 out of 10. Rob, of course, gave this match a 6, so hey, at least me and Rob aren't agreeing on everything this time. But the 0.5 rule is going to bump it up to a 7. It's going to end up coming up to a 6.5 averaged out, so the 7 rule is going to, or the 0.5 rule is going to bump it up to a 7. So, not a bad match. Next up, we have the 8-man tag match between Kane, Kofi Kingston, Santino Marella, and Big Show versus The Core, who is Ezekiel Jackson, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, and Wade Barrett. Now, The Core is absolutely abysmal. There's nothing really to talk about here. Also, I couldn't even find the match card for this, because the only ones that I could find didn't involve Kofi Kingston. There was someone else in the card. I don't even know who it was. So I ended up just using the screenshot from the actual match of the only 4 people that are worth anything in this match. Wade Barrett's okay, but outside of that, that's really it. Kofi's ring gear is so bright neon green it can be seen from space. I don't know if he was added late because of maybe an injury or something. That maybe that's why I couldn't find a match card with him on it. Kane and Big Show are still a dominant team. Santino is actually in the match for once, and oh, it's over. It's over in a minute and a half. It involved barely any offense from the Core. They were basically there to get squashed by the other 4. Slater takes the knockout punch. The story was the reason the squash happened, but y'all know how I feel about squash matches at WrestleMania, so I gave this match a 1 out of 10. Rob gave it a D. He gave it a 2, so it's going to get bumped up to a 2. But this is effectively a squash match. The Core had beaten up on everyone. I guess the Core must have taken out the 4th member because of all this, and that's why Kofi Kingston got added to it. But it was an excuse to get him on the card, and it's over in a minute and a half. I don't like squash matches at WrestleMania. Not without an extremely important reason for them. So, unfortunately, this is where it's going to fall. Next up, we have Randy Orton versus CM Punk. If I already wasn't fucking annoyed by Lawler and Cole, this match ruined it. This match and Michael Cole made me despise CM Punk. The absolute gargling. Like, wipe your mouth off, sir. This man wasn't just gargling CM Punk, he was massaging the balls too. Alright, sorry to get graphic, but there's no other way to describe what Michael Cole was doing to CM Punk on commentary. Alright? And if that offends you, you're not going to want to see my stuff that I do outside of these wrestling things. I can get a little vulgar, so I apologize. But this is just an absolute, it ruined the match. I thought this match was going to be great coming in. Randy Orton and CM Punk, the story is good. I wasn't super crazy about it, and I don't know if Michael Cole is the reason that I stopped caring about this match. I love the story, Punk's game plan to take out his legs, the figure 4 leg lock on the post, Randy's leg giving out on the punt. All of it was fantastic. Textbook selling, the story and limb physiology. Action was lacking. And again, Michael Cole took me out of the match every time I was getting in it. What it did well, but it would have been better with a better work rate. I gave this match a 6 out of 10. Not sure who I prefer, heel Randy or heel Punk. Rob gave this match a B. So again, me and Rob are not all... We finally found a card that me and Rob don't agree with. Rob gave this match a B. He gave this match a 7. I gave this match a 6. So it's going to get bumped up to a 7. I'm completely fine with that because these two... Again, what they did well, they did well. Maybe if Michael Cole wasn't throat deep, I probably would have liked this match a little bit more. But unfortunately, I gave it a 6, but, you know, it's fine. Rob gave it a 7. We'll move it there. And we'll move on to easily worst match of all time. There are worse matches on Cage Match. There are. This is by far the worst WrestleMania match. If you thought the women's match in the last one was bad, this match is 10 times worse. This match is worse because it's 15 minutes long. Why in the fresh fucking hell did you make this match 15 minutes long? There's zero reason. 10 of those 15 minutes were Michael Cole controlling Jerry Lawler. He does 0 moves. It's not funny. It's not haha comical. It's trash. Okay? There's 0 reason that Jerry Lawler ends up losing this match in the end. Especially how he lost. So let me break it down for you. Jerry Lawler's kicking his ass to start, right? And then this schmuck's fucking Jack Swagger puts him in a leg lock outside, throws him back in the ring. Okay? Now, keep in mind, Stone Cold Steve Austin is the guest referee this entire time. Stone Cold doesn't see that. He rolls him back in the ring, and then that's it. Michael Cole begins to take control and puts him in the leg lock and does all this other stuff to him. But it's bad. It's botched. He goes to get on the top rope. He gets scared to do it. So he gets down on the bottom rope, and he does the same move to no impact. And Jerry Lawler has to sell it like it hurt. It's terrible. It's so bad. But then Jerry Lawler comes back, and he makes Michael Cole tap. But because Stone Cold decided to throw Michael Cole one time, the worst idea fucking ever, by the way, during normal wrestling, the anonymous Raw general manager says because the special guest referee got involved in the match, the decision is being overturned, and Jerry Lawler is the loser, and Michael Cole gets a WrestleMania win on his record in the worst match ever. Horrible misuse of Stone Cold. Horrible misuse of 15 minutes that you could have given to another match. Maybe not. Not on this card, to be perfectly honest. Maybe not on this card. But just absolute mind-boggling. It was stupid how he lost. A horseshit thing by Steve Austin. The whole fucking thing is dreadful. 0 out of 10. There's no redeeming it. It's a 0 out of 10. It's the worst match of all time. At least to me. There are other worse matches on Cage Match, and me and Rob have discussed actually going through them. So we may end up doing that. But this match is just, it's bad. It's absolutely abysmally bad. Next up, we have Undertaker versus Triple H. This was never going to be a spot fest. This was going to be a dragged out epic. Because that is Triple H's style, especially in the 2010s, which we are in now. It is all drawn out epics for Triple H from here on. This was never going to be a high action move demonstration. This was a demonstration of Undertaker's resiliency, and this match served one purpose, and that was to set up next year's match. That's it. The ending of this match, the beginning, how this match was set up, how this match progresses, it was solely to set up the following year's match in the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels as the guest referee. It does so spectacularly. This is such a fun match to watch. The power behind the two, the storytelling, the selling. Quite frankly, the selling was easy to look. I mean, Undertaker's back, all those chair shots, his back is bruised and busted up. It really seemed like Triple H just couldn't find the one move needed to win after all those chair shots, left himself vulnerable for the finish. It was a drawn-out story that was not as good as the matches with Shawn Michaels. It wasn't. Or the one after this one that involves all three of them. This was definitely the low light of all four matches rather. But it set the seeds that were needed to show that Undertaker was not immortal. Him requiring help to leave the ring is what sets up the rematch. Beautiful storytelling in that alone. Triple H even comes out and says that, hey, I was the one that walked away from WrestleMania and he didn't, and I want a rematch. That it all goes into it. It's a well-told story, not the best match. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Rob actually agrees and gave this match an 8 out of 10 as well. So that's where it's going to go. Definitely the bottom of these four, but still a deserving good match. Next up, we have the mixed six-man tag match between John Morrison, Snooki, yes, you heard that right, Snooki and Trish Stratus versus Dolph Ziggler and Lay Cool, which is Layla and Michelle McCool. Another match that I can't find a match card for. I don't know if this match was added last minute or whatnot, but there's no match card for it. So again, just like I did for the 8-man tag match, I used a screenshot from the actual match here. Dolph and Morrison were here for the looks. They never got involved, didn't really do much at all besides separate the ladies at the beginning. Trish did most of the work here. There really wasn't much work to do. Eventually, Snooki came in and actually looked decent for 30 seconds, and it's over. It was like a 4.5, 5-minute match, something along those lines. 3 out of 10. I wasn't crazy about this match. There really isn't a whole lot to note. There's not a lot of spots. Snooki wins and makes two decent divas, and Layla and Michelle McCool look like jokes. But I guess technically Trish Stratus did that too, so who knows. 3 out of 10. Rob agrees, a D. That's where it's going to go. 3 out of 10. It's just kind of here. I will say, though, Snooki looked really good in those 30 seconds, which is why I'm okay with putting it above the other match. And finally, we have The Miz versus John Cena for the WWE title. Now, look. Me and Rob cannot only talk about classics. We have to talk about some trash sometimes. And unfortunately, this is one of those situations where we're going to have to talk some trash. So, much to Rob's dismay, it's time for our match review. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Wrestlemania 27 match review. I am here with Tito, who you can see. And we're here to discuss the main event, John Cena versus The Miz, a match that we almost don't want to review, but the other matches on this card just, I don't know. We could have probably done maybe Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, but that just seems like a random-ass match to review, and there really isn't anything iconic on this entire card, as I've already discussed. So here we are, talking about one of the, not the most disappointing main event. That is still Triple H versus Randy Orton. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But definitely...
What did I give that?
Which one? Triple H versus Randy Orton?
Yeah.
Probably not good. It was before
I gave
this.
it a C-.
Yeah, that's exactly what I gave it.
Well, I gave this worse.
I gave this a 4. What did you give this match?
A D.
So you gave this match like a 2 or a 1?
Like a 2.
A 2? Okay. Yeah, so this is going to average out to a 3 for us. But this match is, it's bad. The Miz is the champion. He wins, thanks to The Rock. Let's break this match down, okay? Let's just start with just knowing how bad this match was. The crowd stopped doing the 1-2 chants. Like when you get to pinfalls, you go 1, 2, and then you kick out. The crowd stops doing that. Mm-hmm. Whenever he was pinning Cena. The crowd pops once, thinking Cena was going to win with the AA, which is odd because John Cena never gets cheered anymore. And then it ends initially under a double countout. So first of all, we almost went back to the shitty WrestleMania endings that we had from the very beginning, with a double countout finish in the main event. Let me just tell you right now, if The Rock hadn't restarted this match, this would have been a 0. Well, maybe not a 0, maybe a 1. But that's where this match would have been. Rock comes out, saves the day, I guess, and makes it a no disqualification. It restarts the match, and suddenly the crowd is alive again. And then he costs Cena by rock bottoming him, and The Miz wins. I don't think the crowd was cheering for The Miz winning. I think they were cheering for The Rock hitting Cena with the rock bottom and Cena losing. Match was a train wreck. Rock made it bearable, but this never should have main evented this event. Then again, not sure anything else in this card would have been a better decision, because I don't see how you could have main evented Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, and that was the only decent match on this card. Yeah. What the fuck happened, man? What happened? Is it the era? Is it the time period here?
Yes. WrestleMania, the PG 2008 to whenever the PG era, I guess, ended, if we're still even in it.
They argue that we're in the Renaissance era. We're unsure exactly what era we're in, but the PG era still technically I don't think it's truly ended yet. So
I think...
Well, then you have the pandemic era, but...
Yeah, I think when it got to, like, WrestleMania...
WrestleMania 30 started getting good again.
Yeah, 30 was good, and then it kind of faded, and then I think when Rollins pulled off the heist is when it was like, okay, which is, I think, the literal next WrestleMania.
Yeah. But focusing on this one for a second, I don't understand what it is with Cena. Like, not so much just about Cena, but it's like, what is with WWE's insistence on shoving a superface down our throats at all times? Because eventually we're gonna get to Roman Reigns in a little bit.
That was all Vince. I mean, it showed that the 2008 to like 2015, it literally was all Vince controlling everything. Shoving John Cena down our throats, shoving the Miz because he was a celebrity on a reality TV show before, joining wrestling, Tough Enough, all that. And then even, Roman Reigns and the Shield.
But it's like, even with I don't know what happened to Cena, man. Like, when Cena came onto the scene, he had so much charisma.
Cena.
Okay. But he had so much charisma. He had so much aura about him. Mm-hmm. He was captivating to watch and listen to. And then nothing changed. There was no new twist to his character. There was no new thing to talk about. Nothing changed here.
To be honest, I think the reason why that is Cena, even when he was in his latter part of his Dr. Thugonomics phase, he was doing a lot of Make-A-Wish stuff, and the WWE noticed that a lot of kids were flocking to him.
You didn't have to make him a heel. You could have just added new layers to his character. Cody Rhodes is a beautiful example. He's the top babyface right now in modern times. But Cody Rhodes adds something new to himself every single feud he's in. Mm-hmm. He is not the 100% same character that he was last year when he came back for the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins, another top face, is not the exact same character he was 2 or 3 years ago when Seth freaking Rollins started. Sami Zayn is not the same from last year. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton just kind of came back. But all the faces, all the heels of modern wrestling are different and adaptive now. Cena never changed. Every match was the exact same formula. At least Roman Reigns, even though we know he's going to win, we don't know how he's going to win. It's still, we know how he's going to win. Bloodline's going to get involved. But we don't know how they're going to get involved. We don't know when they're going to get involved. We don't know what's going to happen prior to them getting involved. Cena, he's going to get his ass kicked all match. He's going to come back at the very end, and then he's either going to win or something crazy is going to happen and he's going to get upset and lost. But it's not going to be clean. Mm-hmm. You don't see many clean Cena finishes. This one, for example, The Rock has to come in and beat him effectively.
Yep. So
we're going to talk about this a little bit more in tomorrow's match review. But I want to ask this here, and then we'll go more in depth with it next match review.
I'm going to give my input on this too.
Should Cena have gone heel? Did Cena need a heel turn to fix his character?
At this given moment?
At this given moment. At this given moment, with how bad the crowd was against him, why did they never turn him heel? The crowd was against him effectively.
The crowd was against him, yes, but I don't think The Miz was the right person to do it. Now, spoiler alert, going to the Rock WrestleManias, that was the perfect time to pull the trigger.
And we'll talk about that tomorrow.
And giving my input on this, so this was during the time, like the 3-4 year span where I really wasn't watching wrestling, but I was watching the Royal Rumble religiously. I was watching SummerSlam every now and then WrestleMania. I had it interesting because it's WrestleMania, but I never really was there for the full pay-per-views, going to my buddy's house. And I remember seeing The Miz on The Real World because my best friend Matt was real into like Big Brother, Real World, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing him in WWE, and I was like, that's that dude from The Real World. And then Matt was like, yeah, he's a wrestler now. And I was like, that's kind of cool, I guess. Hopefully it turns out okay. And then Matt was like, yo, he's in the main event of WrestleMania. And I was like, okay, either A, they just pushed him to the moon and just let him be, or he was actually that damn good, and it wasn't the latter.
No.
Like
now, honestly, The Miz now is better than The Miz then.
Because I can tell you, reading this card here, I didn't get to my boy Matt's house until the Undertaker Triple H match, and that's almost till the very end. Mm-hmm. And I remember he was like, "Yo, get over here for the main event. Get over here for the main event." And he was jokingly saying that it's going to be a shit show. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, you say this Miz guy got pushed to the moon. There's got to be something about him.
There wasn't.
And there wasn't. This was a mediocre match. I thought the coolest thing about him was his turnbuckle clothesline.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was really weird. I remember watching this, and then the outside moment happened, the almost double count out. And I saw the Miz look extremely dazed. And I was like, man, this match was a freaking dud. But then why is he looking all cross-eyed and everything? You know, come to find out that he had a concussion and doesn't remember anything.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. He had a concussion. He doesn't remember. I think he said like 80% of the match or something like that. And I was like, dude, that's insane. I mean, do I have all the respect for the Miz now? Yeah, because he still does the same moves now that he did back during this match, but it just looks a lot more polished, and you can tell his chemistry is there with other wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then again, it was the whole, like, I knew Cena was Super Cena. It wasn't really about it. The matches were kind of fucking predictable. The saving grace was, you know, The Rock. And that's really it.
Yeah. And honestly, I think we've talked more about this match than we have any of the last few that we've done, which is odd because this is the one I thought we wouldn't have anything for.
I know.
Anyway, we're not going to take any more time, guys. This is the main event after all, so I am out of here. So, well, he doesn't really get a choice because this is my stream. Not my stream. Goodbye! Back to me!
And welcome back. So yeah, that's that. It sets up the main event for next year. Rob gave it a D. I gave it a 4 out of 10, so it's going to end up getting bumped up to that 4. But realistically, this match it was just here. Yeah, that's basically it. That's it for this WrestleMania, guys. We'll be back with WrestleMania 28 tomorrow. In the meantime, let's figure out what this unfortunate card ends up averaging out to. This WrestleMania averages out to a 4.63, which is honestly a lot higher than I expected it to, which probably would have been a lot worse had it not had The Undertaker and Triple H and those two 7s on the card. But yeah, a 4.62, so it's going to be a C minus rather overall. 4.63. Yeah, unfortunate event. Basically a 4 out of effectively a 4 card, which is really unfortunate. But hey, WrestleMania 27. You can be gone now. We are on to WrestleMania 28, and I will see you guys tomorrow with that as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania 40. Y'all have a good night.